In 2026, we are not allowing ourselves to give into fear anymore. Hello, welcome. I am so happy you're here. This is me officially restarting my channel. My name is Kat. I'm an engineer and content creator living at home in Los Angeles. For a long time, I was posting glimpses of my life on Instagram and here a bit, but without really letting myself be heard. And this year, 2026, we are changing that. So I'd love for you to follow me along on my journey. If you are in a similar situation, let's grow together. This is our year and we are gonna make it our fill in the blank. You know what I mean? So before I dive into my new mindset that is totally transforming my life, let me provide a little bit of context as to where I've been, what's been going on. I didn't necessarily disappear because something super dramatic happened to me. It was a lot of things. It was a snowballing effect. So I did get a sports injury a few years ago on my hip. I tore my labrum. So sad. I've been dealing with this on and off pain where I went to multiple physical therapy clinics, did my rounds of physical therapy. I went to so many doctors to see what my options were before committing to surgery. I even had one physical therapist told my doctor that I was his best patient ever. That is how diligent I was. I have a very thick folder full of all the documentation I was putting together myself so that I could better help the physical therapists and doctors diagnose me and, help solve my problem. I was there to help them help me. In the end, I did do surgery January of 2025. That was both a physical and mental battle. Still going through that today, but I'm coming out the other end a lot stronger, even though I'm feeling a little bit of pain still in my right hip. I do have faith that it will heal, and I just have to keep getting stronger and taking everything day by day. It was easy to get in my head about things, about life, because it's so discouraging and sad when you don't feel the way that you used to feel. Instead of forcing it, I took a step back from social media. I really worked on strengthening my leg. Slowly, I started getting outside again. I freaking touched grass. I traveled to new countries. I made friends. I healed myself from within first. And ultimately, that is translating outwards. But somewhere along the way, I still had this fear within me. Fear of the unknown, doubting myself, not having confidence, just being afraid of a lot of things I didn't have control over. And that fear was holding me back so much in so many areas of my life. It's easy to focus on a couple areas of life. I was very much focusing on my career. As I said, I'm an engineer, I work from home. And so I poured my soul into that. I got my promotion, I got what I wanted, and it's great. I got a certification that I've been working on for a couple years now, but other parts of my life weren't exactly where I'd wanted them to be. That's because I went the easy route. It was easy for me to just fully dive into work. It was easy for me to turn on the TV and binge watch Love is Blind or Stranger Things. But the hard part is tuning out all the noise and facing my fears. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. Facing those fears, doing something about it, coming out the other end very confident, and actually attacking those goals I kept putting off for so long due to my fears. We're not letting that happen this year. In 2026, we are not allowing ourselves to give into fear anymore. Being afraid and stopping yourself from what you want to achieve, what you want to set out to do, is like putting yourself in a little box. You are in a little Amazon package and you are cargo in some Amazon driver's truck, along with all the other little cargo. You're just this little inanimate object along for the ride. But this year, no, you are prying open that box with me. You are getting out of the truck. You are getting into the driver's seat and taking the wheel, because we are navigating the course of our life. We are in the driver's seat. We are pressing the gas pedal, moving forward, going to where we want to go. We are not the little box that is transported from A to B, going along with the flow anymore. No. And do you know how I arrived at this? It's quite simple, actually. It's because I decided so. I decided. I am constantly telling myself I'm not going to be afraid anymore. And no, that's not enough. You actually have to take the next steps. You have to take action to prove that to yourself. That proof has given me courage to do things I never would have done before. For example, Jake, my boyfriend, took me on a really fun New Year's Eve boat party. Sounds super exciting, right? He got us VIP tickets because only the VIP guests are allowed to sit at tables. And he knows with my hip injury, I'm still recovering, that your girl's gonna wanna sit and not stand for 4 hours. Well, the VIP tables are first come, first serve. And when we got on the boat, we saw that all the tables were pretty much packed with people and there were barely any seats left. It was very intimidating. People were already in groups, sitting down, talking. The lights were dim. The music was blasting. Not all the guests that have access to these tables and these seats are going to actually find a seat. And that sucks because that's part of what you paid for. And two, I have a literal injury, so I would like to be able to sit. I reminded myself this year, we are being fearless, we are being courageous, and we're just gonna go for it. What's the worst that can happen? They could say no, the seat's taken. So I went straight up to that table with a whole bunch of strangers and I asked, are these 2 seats taken? And they said no. So we got some seats and we had an amazing time in the New Year's boat event. So I'm very proud of myself for that. I was so encouraged. I definitely have had other experiences ever since then where I am just being brave. In fact, the other day I was at my local gym and I've seen this SUV where it looks like someone is living out of it, and there is a fluffy tuxedo cat on the window looking around in the car. You know, my heart is breaking for the cat, who actually looked healthy. But I had seen this cat last year and I really wanted to just go and buy some cat food, leave it on the car, but I was afraid. Not this time. I went straight to the grocery store, which is right there, grabbed some cat food, grabbed some cat treats. Yes, I was hesitant. I was afraid. I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't. But I did the brave thing. So yes, I called my mom and I told her, Mom, it's the cat in the car again. I want to leave food, but I'm scared. What if there's, somebody in the car who gets mad at me or yells at me? I spoke on the phone with her for maybe 5 minutes and she was telling me to go to my gym and ask somebody to walk with me, even though the car was parked right across from my car. She's also suggesting I ask some nice stranger also leaving the gym to accompany me to the car. I would have waited a long time. And so I just said, screw it. I already had the cat food and treats. I really quickly speed walked to the car, dropped it on the dashboard in the front driver's seat, and ran back to my car and drove away. But I'm so happy that I got to gift this cat some wet food and some treats. Every cat deserves that. I didn't let fear hold me back. Yes, it took me some time. It took me calling my mom. What really brought me to delivering that food was just doing it. Stop thinking about it and just doing it. This year, while I still may feel afraid of doing things, afraid of people, afraid of unknown situations, I'm sure as hell going to act fearless in the end. Okay, just doing the act that you are slightly afraid to do can be hard. So what are some things that we can tangibly do in order to execute what we're hesitating on? You can turn on some motivational music, get you hyped. Again, this is all about mentality. You just gotta lock in and be fearless, okay? So maybe you can get yourself hyped with whatever motivational music, whatever motivational podcast really gets you going. Another thing you can do is make your vision board. How do you want to live this year? What have you been wanting to do that you've been afraid of doing? Add that to your board. On my board, I have an image of an acting class because that's something I want to get into this year. And lo and behold, your girl signed up. My first class is in a few days. And yes, I'm afraid, but I'm committed. We are not going to grow feeling comfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Also on my vision board is the word fearless in all caps written out so many times. It's screaming fearless at me, and that's just how I'm trying to live this year and my life. It is also my phone wallpaper. So I love that. It's a constant reminder of who I want to be, who I am becoming. Another way you can approach becoming fearless is taking it slow and taking small bite-sized pieces. Think about one small thing that kind of makes you nervous. What is that thing? All right, think about a couple of these things and slowly attack them one by one. We want to celebrate our small victories, our small wins. We're going to give ourselves the grace to allow ourselves to build up and get to where we want to be. We don't need to be jumping into the deep end right after watching this video. No. Although, if you are that inspired and your mindset has totally changed, do it, but do it safely. A fourth tangible thing you can try that I know works for a ton of people is when they wake up in the morning or right before they go back to bed, they speak to themselves in the mirror saying who they are or who they are becoming. That holds power in and of itself. So maybe you look into the mirror and you say, I am healthy, I am strong, I am exuding confidence, I am getting my promotion this year, I am getting the relationship of my dreams. Whatever it is, you can speak it out loud. That's manifesting, right? You can speak it looking at yourself directly in the eyes every day. You just got to find out what works for you. As I'm listing out these ideas, try them all. You never know what's going to stick. The fifth thing I want you to do before you give up on this thing you're afraid of doing is to prepare. That is the best way you can build your confidence. It's preparing. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. I love that quote. I stand by that. I heard it one day and it stuck to me years later. Let me say it again. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. What are ways that you can prepare to attack this thing you're afraid of? And I think you know what those things are. So why don't you, with your pen and paper, write out a list. What are the steps that you need to take in order to feel fully prepared to do what you're afraid of? Tackle that list. Start small. But every time you do something on that list, that's a win. You are building up to executing on that goal you have for yourself. That is so important. The sixth thing I want you to try doing is to ask yourself, why are you afraid in the first place? Why? Are you afraid of what others might think of you? Are you afraid you're not ready? What is it? Are you afraid of getting hurt? Say you have a goal for yourself, and that is to make new friends this year. That can be scary, right? Going up to somebody and striking a conversation. Well, what are some things that we can use from this list in order to make a new friend? Let's apply what we've talked about, what we've learned, hopefully. Some ways you might prepare to act on that goal would be to, here's a cute one, add a cute photo of girlfriends hanging out at the beach to your vision board. Boom, done. You see the vision board every day. Hopefully, put that vision board on your wall somewhere where you will see it when you are entering your room or before you go to bed. You will look at that and be constantly reminded, oh yeah, this is my goal. We got to get on it. Another thing you can do is look at yourself in the mirror and add to your affirmations the following. I am worthy of great friendships. I am worthy of love. Boom. Another thing you could do, and again, there's so many ways you can prepare for this, is ask yourself, why are you afraid to meet new people? And probe a little deeper. What's the worst that can happen? Why don't you imagine what the other person is thinking? They're probably thinking, oh, this really nice person is interested in getting to know me. That's awesome. And this one experience in their day is probably going to stick with them and something that they're going to think about and smile on for the rest of their day. This one positive interaction they had with a stranger. And you know what? This person is probably interested in making friends too. At the core of humanity, we all crave connection. And so I'm sure this person is also having a hard time making new friends. I think that's a fair assumption. Everybody wants to make new friends, not just new friends, but good friends, where you feed off of each other's positivity, good energy, we can grow together, that type of thing. It's hard to meet friends after you finish school, and I can talk. I work from home. I'm not gonna meet Sally and Georgina in my kitchen. That'd be crazy. You can do things like go outside, go to an event, download Bumble BFF, and all these things have worked for me, by the way, but that's a whole nother video if we're interested. But there's a multitude of things you can do to prepare to attack your goals, to not be afraid, and to build confidence in having actionable steps. If you made it this far in the video, please consider subscribing to my new little baby channel where I'm talking about all things soul searching, becoming, wellness, all around, all the good stuff to improve multiple areas of your life. Grow and glow with me. We're gonna do this. 2026 is our year. You can follow my Instagram at Kitty Catlow as well. I bet you're gonna crush those goals. Tell me all about it here in the comments, what you're afraid of and what you're going to attack this year. Bye.